Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today, yes, I have more new makeup to play with. I have the new Tom Ford Meteoric quad. I have new Tower 28 powder. I have the new Gucci highlight, the new WESTMAN Atelier concealer. I may have sneakily gotten a tester brush from Refa to try. So yeah, just some new products to play with, so happy fun makeup times. Now hopefully that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. Zoomed in nice and close, 4K, no filters, and everything I use on my face today will be linked in the description box down below for you guys. They are affiliate links though, so if you use them, thank you so much. Okay, there has been some luxury beauty drops lately, and as soon as I saw this Tom Ford, like the Tom Ford special quad in the black packaging, Meteoric, I was just like, oh, we have to pick it up. I don't know why. I thought this was going to be a little bit of a different formula. This just looks like the matte and metallic formula, but I know they have reformulated it to their previous ones. So I'm guessing this is the reformulated one, which we'll try. But I was expecting this to be like the formula from Metal Lust. So this one right here, which is just something they should have absolutely made permanent, especially this formula, because this is a good formula. But anyway, either way, I'll test it out for you guys and tell you whether or not this is worth it, because I know a heap of us, when we saw this, especially with the black packaging, we were pretty excited. So I'm going to quickly do swatches for you guys. I'm just going to do them sitting here and not desk view. Sorry, I know that's me being lazy, but that's what we're going to do for today. Hopefully those swatches were okay. I will say, this palette to look at didn't impress me when I opened it as much as what I thought it was going to, or really, if I'm honest, at all. But swatching it actually, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks eye primer today. I'm just going to apply it with a Refa 35. I can't believe just one, I mean, I can believe how much new makeup is coming out. I mean, it's the industry, right? But I can't believe just how much holiday releases are already coming out already. I'm like, can we not, please? Like, can we not? Can we just wait until the 1st of November, please? Anyway. I haven't seen anything in the holiday releases so far yet that I'm like, oh, I really want that. Have you guys? Let's take a MY19 blending brush and go into this matte. This matte feels much better quality than the other powder mattes that I've tried in their like normal formula. This feels more like a creamy suede-like matte, almost kind of like a Natasha Denona feeling normal matte powder. That's how it feels. Definitely feels much better quality than their normal one. Their normal matte, so that is a good thing, because I was not impressed with their normal like matte and metallic formulas. I liked all of their cream shadow. The cream formula is my favorite, as well as like the wet dry, so, and the Metal Lust formula. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna switch brushes. Actually, I'm not vibing that one right now. I'm gonna use the Refa 15 actually. It's just a little bit more domed on the top. I will say, dang, costs of luxury makeup in Australia is becoming a bit of a joke. This was $160 something. These were originally like $130, I think, like when I first started trying Tom Ford, and that's how much they've gone up. It's just everything in Australia is just getting more and more expensive, and it's not like the rest of the world. Like, obviously cost of living and everything is impacting everywhere, but like in terms of makeup costs, and that hasn't changed overseas, and our dollar hasn't changed that dramatically either. So I don't know, it's just, I don't know what it is. I'm not an economist, but it's just like, come on. And pack this on the outer corner. My Selfridges annual delivery thing expired today, and I'm really sad about it, because now they have put it up to $160, which is ridiculous, but I'm like, I can get around that. But they've made the minimum spend now for that $160 annual pass £300, which is about 600 Australian dollars. So unless you spend about 600 Australian dollars every time, you don't get the free shipping with the annual pass. And I'm like, that is a joke. Like, you cannot tell me that they're losing that much money on their shipping thing for that to be like they've gone from it being, when I first purchased it, it was, I think it was only like 60 bucks or something, and it was a minimum spend of 80 or 100 or not even. And then now, and then it went to $90 with a minimum spend of 140, and then now it's $160 with a minimum spend of like almost 600. I don't understand that jump. I do not understand that jump. I mean, yeah, I don't understand that. I'm guessing maybe they were losing that much money, but that just seems ridiculous. So anyway, I won't be using that now, which sucks because I honestly ordered like 80% of my makeup, I think, off Selfridges, so it sucks, but anyway. I don't know what I'll do now to get my new releases. It was good because Selfridges would get all of the new releases a lot quicker than Australia. So I don't know, I might just try my US, like the drop shipping, not the drop shipping, the forward shipping service. We'll see. That's pretty though. Nothing groundbreaking. I think it's a pretty shade. I think the formula is really quite lovely. But I think it's nothing groundbreaking in terms of like innovation or anything. It's just a high quality matte like the others out there on the market. And I have shades like this, so I like it. I think it's beautiful. I think the quality is really high, but it hasn't blown me away because I have something like this in my collection already, if you will. I think we should be able to just pretty much use all three of these. As you know, I'll put intensifiers on this side, no intensifiers on this side. Let's take out a Ref 2. I'll start with the chocolate brown metallic. Let's pop this on the outer corner first and deepen this up. These may be better with a finger, so let me test it. The thing that I do usually, wow, that is incredibly lackluster with a brush. Look at that face, but, it's like a matte. I mean, this is more of a satin, I guess, but, oh, there you go. Okay, you're gonna have to use intensifiers. Look at the difference. No intensifiers, intensifiers. You're gonna have to wet your brush or use intensifiers or something like that for this to pay off. Okay, I mean, this is more of a satin finish, I will tell you that, but still, that's a big difference. Like, same brush. I'll try again. Tailorable, I guess. Let's try with the finger. Okay, so yeah, if you want a soft finish with this brown, use like your finger or a brush and don't wet it or put any glitter glue or intensifiers down, because look at the difference between them, but maybe that's what you're looking for. Okay, interesting. This is another Ref 2, a clean one. Let's go into the purple now. Oh, sorry, this is a Ref 2 Max. There you go. Do you think these might be shadows that perform better with your finger though? So let's pop this one. Again, very subtle. Okay, very subtle, which I do know a lot of you guys actually like this very soft wash of color, but for me this is like, okay. You know, I have been liking softer eye looks, but that's a bit soft for me for $168. Let's try with the intensifiers again, automatically better, so that's good. I mean, I use intensifiers every day anyway for my hooded eyes, so it doesn't bother me, but still, you need to know these things in case you don't like it or want to use it like that, you know? I mean, it's still, this is pretty, but it's still not like, wow, you know? Look at how lackluster this is. Okay, let's try with the finger on this side. That's sad, isn't it? That is sad without the intensifiers. This is a Ref 28. Let's go into the champagne shade now. Not exactly expecting to be wowed in here. This one is performing the best. This is actually very pretty. Okay, well that one didn't perform terribly. That's actually pretty. this eye is obviously, personally, much better. This eye looks very sad. Very sad. So I'm going to re-go over all those steps. And I'm actually going to wet my brush this time. And let's see if this improves. There we go. So you can even just spray your brush and it's going to improve the situation. Maybe this is a wet dry formula and I'm not aware of it. Now the purple. And now the champagne colour. Now that looks much better, but I still like the intensity more. That's on the intensify side. I'm just gonna take that ref of 15 and kind of like just give it a wee buff, no extra color here. I think this looks pretty. Don't get me wrong, especially the intensify side. I do think this looks pretty. I think the colors are really flattering together, but just spoiler alert already, this is a skip for me. Like this has not impressed me at all because especially like, again, I use intensifiers every single day for my looks anyway. So that's fine for me and I can get used out of this because of that. But a lot of you might not want to use that. You might not want to pick up the intensifiers for it. Maybe you don't want to wet your brush, that kind of a thing. Maybe you're just like, no, if I'm going to spend 168 Australian dollars on a quad, it should be able to work really well without anything. And I think the performance just dry was, apart from the matte, was so underwhelming. So underwhelming. It was like, is anything even on the eye? Whereas there are multiple palettes in my collection. Even like Chanel, if you want to talk luxury, like Chanel quads, impeccable. Prada quints, impeccable. Dior quints, impeccable. Also cheaper and perform without an intensifiers or wetting your brush at all. They perform like beautifully. You know, for 115 Australian dollars, you could get the Natasha Denona midi palette that's going to blow your mind. And not need anything extra. Whereas, yeah, so this for me, easy skip. Easy skip, unless you just really are like, no, I'm obsessed with that and I use intensifiers every day anyway, so it's fine. You do you, it's your dollar, I don't mind. But I'm just telling you, I think that is a very easy skip. You know, you can tell when I get excited about something, I'm not excited. Yeah. Let's move on to base makeup now. I have the new What's Up Beauty Posy-Tivity primer. So this is the lightweight hydrating face primer. I've used it once. It honestly just feels like a very lightweight, it's kind of like this lotiony kind of thing, a lightweight moisturizer. So it wasn't terrible. I wouldn't say I was also like so blown away that I'm saying run, don't walk, but it's lovely. Like if you're purchasing from What's Up and you are looking for a very thin, it does have a cooling feeling, lightweight moisturizing primer, it might be for you. This is just my green color corrector from Tarte. Oh, this is a Sigma F47, by the way. I still haven't found out if the Sigma color corrector is getting discontinued, because apparently on the grapevine that's happening, so I need to still confirm that. So TBA, but we are going to use it for our under eyes today. So this is just a BECKHAM and I just mix both the shades together. Give it a bit of a color correct here. I was nearly going to send that Tom Ford quad back because when I opened it, I could tell that this was probably the reaction that I was going to have to it when I applied it. But then I thought, no, because I know quite a lot of us looked at that you know, that release on Instagram and was very excited by it and probably would buy it. And I was like, you know, it's probably worthwhile at least showing you guys whether or not it really is worth it or not. And I guess I was kind of hoping to just be surprised. Wasn't. Really did apply how I thought it would, but you know, that's okay. You win some, you lose some. I'm torn with foundation because I purchased the WESTMAN Atelier Complexion Stick Foundation when I got the concealers, which I have tried before, but I want to just test it again because I haven't tried it in years and years and years. But I also am kind of like, oh, I forgot to put my under eye primer on. Oh well. I also kind of want to use a foundation that I know and love because I'm testing a new powder. Screw it. Let's just play with it. let's use this. This is Vital Stick in shade, why doesn't it say? Oh, 0.05. Maybe a little bit light, but that's right. That's all right. I'm just going to take this BK 105, which is a giant brush, but I quite like blending out stick foundations with this brush. So I tried this when WESTMAN first dropped her line back in, gosh, 2018, I want to say it was. And when it was like the small size. And I didn't mind it at the time, it just probably wasn't super duper wowy. My skin was a lot oilier back then too, and I had much different makeup preferences. So I thought we would give it a go, and because I want to do a full face of WESTMAN and stuff, I'll just get it while I was going to. Now this is too light, way too light. But I'm incredibly tanned right now. And I remember when I got shade 1 back in the day, it was too deep. So we're just going to use bronzer to make it not look so ghostly, because it is way too light for right now. But we will make it work, don't you worry, your pretty little faces. I definitely don't have the intense love affair immediately with this like I do with the DIOR stick or the Atelier stick. It just doesn't melt into the skin as well, or smooth my skin as well like what the DIOR does. It's not too bad though, it's not done a bad job. Nice finish too to the skin. It's not too bad. I actually am liking it more than I remember, like I liked it back in the day, you know, so that's all right. I will tell you instantly though, the DIOR one is my holy grail stick foundation for sure. Okay, concealer. I'm gonna have a review of this coming out. Whether or not it's up before this, I'm not sure. So this is still me in the testing phase. I've got L1 and L2. I will quickly swatch them for you just in case this comes up before the review. So L1, L2. I have found mixing these together is the perfect shade for me, which isn't a surprise. Usually that's the case. But you know, choose your adventure depending on your skin tone. Okay, L1. Now, in the review I talk about this, but this is not a highly spreadable concealer in terms of, and it's been designed that way. I go through all of this in the review, so I'm not going to recover it in here. This is me testing it, but I have found just from my limited uses already is that less, it's not that less is more, I mean less is more, but because the concealer blends exactly where you put it, you really don't need to do much because then you're going to have too much product. Now this is a B06 from Refa, and I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but when Refa came out with the, where are they? These two brushes, the B05 and the B04, these two. I absolutely love these. I think these are amazing. And I said to Tom, who owns Refa, oh, having one of these brushes in the middle of this would actually be absolutely perfect. And so they did the prototype up and they sent it to me. So I'm basically testing this, I believe. So here we go, my first day testing it. It feels so lovely and fluffy and exactly how I wanted it to be. It's exactly the size I wanted it to be. And this is synthetic as well. So apologies if I'm not allowed to show this, but just between you and I, we're testing it. When I did the wear test for this concealer as well in the review, I didn't set one of the under eyes, which I've never ever done. And my lord, it wore so bloody well. Because it is supposed to be a self-setting concealer. It is. And how I've, like my tests of this so far, I tell you what, it is impressive. It's an impressive concealer. There's a lot of claims, and I know Gucci makes a lot of claims about this concealer, and she's kind of, you know, when I went to her webinar, it was like, she was like, no, seriously, this concealer is amazing. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I have such a high expectation level of concealers, but I got to admit, since trying this, bought these with my own money, it's a good concealer. It's a good concealer. Like, look at that. That's just one layer too. Now, I like to do 2 layers. That's just who I am. So we're going to do that here. This is also a good spot concealer because it doesn't move around. So you can like pop it wherever you need a little bit of extra coverage, and it's going to do a really good job at just staying put because it is such a good self-setting concealer. Like I said, the day that I did my wear test for the review, I didn't set one side and it didn't budge and it looked absolutely beautiful the whole time. Since then I've been testing it all different ways kind of thing. Like I'm testing with different products and stuff just to see how it goes. But yeah, because of the fact that it is self-setting and it doesn't move around and budge and stuff, and the formula is quite stiff like that in a good way, it's a good all over concealer as well. But it's also very smoothing, can you see that? And like hydrating without being greasy and too much on the under eyes. And like, you know, sometimes if a concealer is too hydrating, it can look heavy on the under eyes. No, I think any eye type would really like this. I really, really do. I think this is a phenomenal concealer, truly. I don't have a new cream contour, so I'm going to use my absolute fave, the DIOR. Just going to put a little bit more on than I should because I need a bit of colour, you know? This is my Sunny G. Is this a Builder Pro? Is that what it's? No, Sheer Buffer. Gosh, lost the name of it for a second. I cannot still, like, it still floors me how good these DIOR stick complexion products are that they release. Like, they're just so good. Still floors me. That foundation and concealer, I haven't tested the foundation with the concealer yet. I've got to say they work really well together. Makes sense. They're designed by the same makeup artist from company, right? So it's not surprising because she would have tested it a lot with her own products, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, they do look really, really nice together and really nice shade matches. Just going over with my sponge. This has no product on it, just to push it all in. It's actually looking a lot nicer than I was anticipating, especially for that, more so the foundation. Okay, this was phenomenal, by the way. Love it. So stay tuned. They're not sponsoring me. This is literally, they just made it for me to test and put out there. So, you know, happy days. Tower 28 released the, what's it called? Get Ready, Getset Blur Powder. The Getset Blur Powder, I got the Palisades pink shade. Let's have a wee little look. What does it say on here? Blurring, skin brightening, talc-free, pressed powder makes any base transfer proof and sweat resistant in one touch. A gentler alternative to setting spray. It's alcohol-free, non-drying, and infused with hydrating squalane for a never flat modern matte finish. 12-month expiry, cruelty-free, vegan, wetters, made in Korea. Cute packaging. Look at that. It's got like the little Tower 28 pushed in here. Very cute. And this is, I just realized it says my shade's Palisades pink, but this is not pink. Is that pink? That doesn't look pink to me. Okay, whatever. That's fine, but it does not look pink. It looks bone colored. Anyway, I'm gonna take this on a MY13. This is definitely not pink. I wonder if it's like the wrong thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll have to have a look at the shade. Let's set the under eyes with this and through the T-zone first. I guess we'll set the whole face with this, won't we? But we'll do the T-zone first. I'll do one half and then we'll do the other half so we can compare. Initially that looks nice, but a lot of powders initially look lovely and then some of them can turn very quickly horribly and then others can take a minute, but it's all about how they wear, because initially they'll go on and look quite blurred and flawless, but then as your skin kind of warms up and the oils start coming through and it's got to do something, it can turn pretty quick. It does look nice on the under eye and the rest of the face though, which is good. So one half, one half. I think that's looking pretty nice. I actually think that looks really lovely. Again, actually more so than I was anticipating, like pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect it to truly be so blurring. Sometimes I find like more you clean kind of, you know, Tower 28 reminds me more of like, you know, your no makeup fuss-free type vibe. I usually find sometimes their powders and stuff cannot be as blurring. They can be really more natural-ish, but this is quite nice and blurring, which I appreciate. I like a good blur. So my first thoughts, because this is just a first impressions, that's beautiful. But we'll see how it goes, even just applying the rest of the makeup. I've had powders I've tried where I've put it on here and by the time I've got to lips, I'm like, I freaking hate this powder. So we'll keep an eye on it as we go and then I'll keep testing it. I'm just gonna quickly go off camera and do my brows and then we'll come back and carry on. We have brows on. Let's finish the under eyes. So I'm gonna take the matte within Sigma E36. We'll run that underneath here. I mean, I will say the eyes look pretty. They really do. I just think for the cost of the palette, you could get these colors for a lot cheaper elsewhere. You know? I'm gonna put Victoria Beckham brightener on my lower waterline. But I'm just gonna leave no eyeliner on my top lashes today. I don't feel like it. And I'm still just trying to finish up my Gucci mascara. So let's use that one. I'm not going to put too much mascara on either actually because I'm working. So that's the eyes. I do think they look pretty, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like I've said. Just repeating myself at this point. For bronzer, we're going to take my LANCôME bronzer. This is the LANCôME Tint Idole into light with my Sonia G TF1 bronzer brush, which this is phenomenal. If you're wondering, I really, really like this as a bronzer brush. Really like it. It's just such a great size, but also the softness of it. I love it. Just makes a good brush, old Sonia G. And I mean, this bronzer is hands down my favorite bronzer. Creme de la creme. Okay, this is coming together quite nicely. Actually, that powder's still looking really lovely. Happy days. For highlighter, I actually picked up one of the new Gucci highlighters. So this is the shade Sunrise Gold. I couldn't help myself. So this is the packaging. It's very pretty. It's kind of like your metal Gucci packaging. And then it looks super odd inside, right? So when I opened this up, I was like, is this a highlighter or a pressed powder? But when you actually like swatch it, it becomes a highlighter. So I'll rub it on the back of my hand here. But it's a very, very soft. I don't know if you can see that. It's very interesting. So I'm gonna be super intrigued to try this. And it's got like, it's called Sunrise Gold, but it has a bit of a shift of pink to it. It's quite interesting. It's taken Refa AA01 for highlight, and I'm not gonna put any liquid on. Let's see how this goes. But I gotta admit, when I opened this, I was like, is this just a pressed powder? Like, where's the highlight? So let's see. Now, if you are not new around here, you know I'm a massive, massive advocate for the liquid highlighter from Gucci. Like, intensely rate that one. This one, not so much. Is it pretty? Yes, it's pretty. Do not get me wrong. It has enhanced texture. Highlighters are going to enhance texture, okay? It's a highlighter. However, some will enhance more than others. And this one is one of those ones that enhances not the worst I've ever seen, but more than others. So currently, some of my favorite powder highlights are like the LANCôME Tint Idole. That is like a liquid highlight in a powder form. The Fenty Beauty Demi highlighter that they released recently. Again, a liquid in a powder form, impeccable. The Tom Ford Gilded ones, the Hermes one. This is nice, but this is nothing wowing to me when I compare it to those ones. Like, this is just fine. It's just fine. I don't put this on and go, like, oh my gosh. I put this on and I'm like, okay, is that all you've got? It looks fine. I'm not blown away. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't wait to use this again. You know, I could see myself eventually. I won't declutter it because it's Gucci. I like to have that in my collection, so on and so forth. But if it wasn't, like, I could see myself decluttering it, if you will, because it's not going to wow me. Yeah, it's pretty. Nothing that I'm like, run, don't walk, you know. But again, everyone's different, so you do you. Now, I picked up the shade Mimi in the WESTMAN Atelier cream blushes from her website, because I think this is a website exclusive. And this is absolutely stunning, and I think it'll look really, really perfect with this eye look. So I just put them on the back of my hand. This is a BK106. I do this. And then, oh yeah, see that? Isn't that perfect? Absolutely perfect. I just love that shade. I'm so glad I picked it up. I nearly took it out of my cart and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna get it. And I'm so glad I did, because it's really, it is such a beautiful shade. Look at that. Like, I'm not even gonna, one, it's not tacky on the skin. I'm actually not even gonna set that with powder, because I just actually think this on its own is such a beautiful shade. Gorgeous. I mean, the WESTMAN Atelier cream blushes really are something special, aren't they? They're really stunning. Just gonna take a little bit of my Refi setting spray, which is actually quite nice. I wouldn't say it is anything mind-blowing, but I do quite like it actually. I have ordered the Mario powder and setting spray, by the way. It is currently on its way to me. Actually, one thing I like about this is it doesn't change the finish of my skin. You know, like for example, if I use the Vive setting spray, it will make my skin a lot more hydrated, which is great if I want my skin to be more hydrated. But if I'm having an oily day, it's not the setting spray I can use, for example. Same with like, say, the Lisa Eldridge one. Whereas this one and like your Charlotte Tilbury and the Danessa Myricks one, I can use these no matter what my skin type is, and it's not gonna like add any greasiness or oiliness or anything. So I normally at this step go and take like a little bit of a powder foundation and reset my T-zone. It's a trick I got from Andrea Ali, but I'm just gonna actually take a little bit more of this Tower 28 one. It's actually still looking impeccable. More so than even what powders normally look on my skin by now. I'm just gonna reset my T-zone. This is, like I said, something I do at this point every single time, because by this point my oils usually have started coming through. It's just kind of like a finishing. Actually, I feel like maybe I need a little bit more blush. Can't help myself. Let's take one of my new faves, Bacon Cakes from Fenty. Love this shade. Yeah, just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I can't help myself. All right, let's go pick a lip. For lip liner, I'm gonna take Bark from Vive. And then I'm gonna take Exposed from NARS. This is one of their new satin lipsticks. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. I'm gonna go figure out hair and stuff, and then we'll zoom out and wrap this up. Alrighty friends, this is the finished look. What do you think? Overall, I actually think this look came together and looks really, really nice. I do. I think truly everything looks stunning. You know, I'm about to work. I think this is a really great work-friendly look for me. The quad, I will say again, it looks pretty, but I do think it's an easy skip. I think there are so many other alternatives, even in luxury brands. Like I said, your Chanel quads, your Dior quints, the Prada quints, they're cheaper and they're a better quality, in my personal opinion, for that color story. There are some Tom Ford quads, even I would recommend getting one of the cream quads, any of the cream quads over that one, they are impeccable. Any of the wet dry ones over that one, impeccable. I just don't think this one's worth the money, in my personal opinion. The foundation actually looks lovely, and I'm gonna say a lot of that credit is down to the Tower 28 powder. I'll keep you guys posted, but my first impression so far, even after I've done all my makeup, is that powder's pretty impressive. I'm gonna keep testing it though. Let's see if it holds up to my Chanel loose powder, my Face Atelier glass skin powder, because they're like creme de la creme for me. But immediately I'm super impressed, and by this point, like I've said it a few times, but I got that new Too Faced powder in the Love Heart, and by this point in the application it looked so bad. I was like, get this makeup off me. So the fact that this is still looking really flawless, I'm impressed, especially with a foundation that I like is newly tried, as I don't think is like as smoothing as say what the Dior foundation stick is. In saying that though, I do actually still think this Westman Atelier foundation is looking absolutely lovely. I love the Westman Atelier cream blush, and I love the Westman Atelier concealers. I think they're stunning. I truly do. So overall, very happy. Oh, I guess, sorry, actually the Gucci highlighter looks very pretty, but I think the Gucci highlighter and the Tom Ford products are like, okay, yeah, they're nice, but you're gonna need to step your game up because there's phenomenal out there now, you know what I mean? Whereas the other products are really lovely so far. So yeah, hopefully you had a fun time chilling and hanging out with me and playing with some makeup. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd be very interested to hear from you guys, particularly around the Tom Ford quad. And if you're watching till this point, you know you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Extra special shout out to my Lily absolute legends. Thank you so much, as well as all of my other members for supporting my channel. And I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.